Well, it's a measure of the respect that Dennis Bergkamp has in the game that man Johan Cruyff is pulling on his boots today for his testimonial. It quite frankly is the pre-season to beat them all, and it's minutes away. But what's going through the mind of Mr. Bergkamp himself? John caught up with him earlier today.
Well, Dennis, this is the first time I've been to this stadium. How are you going to give this up?
Yeah, it's difficult. I think I'm quite lucky that I got a little taste of the new stadium, but yeah, it's a shame because you would have liked to play it in it. You would have liked to continue your career, but yeah, it's been enough for me now.
In the 80s, a technical player like yourself, England would not have been a player in the 70s or 80s, and obviously growing up. So it was a bit of a surprise even for me to see a player like you coming to England.
Yeah.
We know you like England. Is that something that you thought about, the aspect of the type of football that was played?
Yeah, I knew it was a physical game, but by that time you learn a lot in Italy, of the physical side. You learn the dirty tricks and stuff. In my mind, the route to go was always Italy, England, and then back to Holland. That was in my mind. Instead of 4 years Italy, I only done 2 years. So faster than expected, I went to England.
Well, someone who actually changed the whole culture was Arsene Wenger, who came a year after you, and it was difficult for him at first to be accepted, but it soon changed because he must have been a fantastic manager to work for.
Yeah, he is. He's got the same ideas about football that I had, attacking football. He done the right thing, coming in and just take it easy first, just let everything go by, and the best thing he did, of course, is keeping that back four, keeping those English players who were vital for the team and knew the English game, because he didn't want to throw that away. He wanted that English game there. He wanted to have the English team and have some players around it who could make, who added some flair and some different kind of football, and slowly he changed that, and he done well.
Well, the whole boring Arsenal was quickly soon out of the window, and some of the games you've played in were absolutely fantastic. And some of the goals you scored. The interesting one for me is the Newcastle one.
Yeah.
With Nikos Dabitas, because I've watched that goal time and time again, and it doesn't make sense.
In training, or when you do that move, normally you take it with your right outside and then move that way.
Right.
So that was a little bit in my head, but the ball came on my left foot. So in my head the movement was still the same.
Right, but the ball goes the other direction.
But I just took it with my left foot. But this was just a lot of luck, and I needed a push as well to score the goal. But as soon as I'd done that, I thought, okay, good goal. Then people started to ask me, did you mean it? Did you mean it? And I thought, what's all that about? And I watched it on television the day after or something. And then I realized,
why they're asking.
Yeah, it looks a little bit different.
Yeah.
But as I said, I really meant to go for that.
The fans throughout your career. Never mind, I heard someone ask you a question about the bad start. You scored after 7 games and it was fine. The fans have been really good to you.
The fans from day one, they always supported me. I think you couldn't ask for more. Every game they were cheering my name. They had songs for me. They had 2 songs for me.
We had a song for you at Liverpool as well.
I'm sure.
A different song though.
Yeah. No, I'm just happy that they were there, really.
Well, you will be a fan now because you've got a box here, and you see a lot of ex-players on television and in boxes.
Yeah.
Glass of champagne in your hand, saying he's rubbish. You're not going to be one of those.
shouting at the players. No, I think I can be a fan. Of course, you've been a footballer, so it's a bit different, but I still enjoy football. I love the club. It's familiar to me, so I'll be watching the games and see what the team will do.
And maybe manage them one day.
I don't think so. At the moment, I feel I'm not I don't want to be a manager. It's I have to be careful to say I will never be a manager, because Marco van Basten used to say that. I'll never be a manager. But in my mind now, I don't have any ambition to go into coaching now.
So did he remember? You didn't remember anything? Nothing. He just pressed it.
Well, Dennis Bergkamp's arrival in this wonderful stadium is imminent. Emmanuel, what a send-off for this man today. What will be going through his mind as he stands in that tunnel now?
I think probably he thinks it's a very, very good day for him, but I think inside of him, he should be sad as well, because that's his last game today. So, you know, he said before that the love from the fans during all his career with Arsenal was amazing. So I'm sure he's going to miss it. He's going to miss as well the atmosphere in Highbury, atmosphere here.
Well, he's waiting right now to come onto the pitch and be greeted by his legions of fans. So let's hand over to John Helm and Nigel Winterburn and take in this momentous occasion.
Thank you very much indeed, Colin. Momentous indeed. Nigel, you really get a feeling of being part of history today, don't you?
You certainly do. I think as well, Dennis will be full of emotion as well. I remember when I had my testimonial, got 56,000 here, which shows, it's testimony to him really, the appreciation that the fans have of what he's achieved for the club. A new stadium, but also sadness because you're bringing your career to the end.
It really is a wonderful scene here. 93 years at Highbury. Not Dennis Bergkamp, of course. He's had 11 years there. And what a lovely family shot for the album as well. He's a great family man, of course, Dennis Bergkamp, and his wife, Henrietta, his children, Estelle, Mitchell, Yasmin and Saffron, all here today. And the great Johan Cruyff here as well. As you say, very emotional. But what the right sort of person to have a day like this.
It is, because the modern day footballer, for the amount of money that they earn, are lambasted by the public really, because they're saying, why do you need a testimonial? But I think the fans have voted with their feet today. They've come to show their appreciation to Dennis Bergkamp, and it's nothing to do with money. It's what he's achieved for this football club over the last 11 years, and the noise inside this stadium is absolutely amazing for a testimonial.
And Thierry Henry has made a special journey from the United States of America on his holiday to be here, and again that speaks volumes for Dennis Bergkamp. But everybody wants to be here to be a part of his big day.
Well, I think when you've played with a player, and I call him a legend, I think lots of players are called legends when they don't deserve that title, but in this occasion I don't think there's any doubt that he is a true legend. And when you've played with somebody like that, you want to be here for his final game, and it just shows with Thierry just coming out of the World Cup, a big loss, a sorrow for him, but he's still prepared to put himself out and come and pay tribute to Dennis Bergkamp. I think that says it all.
And how fitting the end of one era coincides with the start of another era. And Dennis Bergkamp goes out to meet the two teams and the officials today. And it is a day that everybody wants to be a part of, including his father, Wim Bergkamp. And Dennis has said all along he was a massive influence on his entire career, as indeed his whole family are now. Well, let's have a check on the two teams then. We've got a match coming up. We almost forgotten Arsenal against Ajax. First of all, Arsenal, in fairness, this lineup isn't going to give us much of an indication as to how they'll shape up when Aston Villa kick off the Premier League season here. So many of the regular sides still on vacation after the World Cup, or not quite back to full speed in training. So it gives Arsene Wenger a chance to look at some of those who were pushing for places last season, the likes of Alexandre Song, Pascal Sigan, Justin Hoyton, Jeremy Aliadier, who were both back after loan spells to Sunderland and Wolves, respectively. The referee for this game today, Andre Mariner, and he's a familiar figure, Nigel, Jaap Stam. He will come up against him a time or two.
Yeah, played against Jaap at Manchester United, and I've got to say I was very surprised when Alex Ferguson sold him. Alex doesn't make many mistakes with the players that he sells, but Jaap Stam is still a strong player, and I think that's probably one of the Manchester United's big mistakes in selling him.
Ajax, Dennis Bergkamp's first club, provide perfect opposition, as they did in the Champions League last season. They bring with them 6 members of the Dutch World Cup squad, including Ryan Babel, the national side's youngest goal scorer for 6 years, but he starts on the bench. That familiar name, familiar there, of Jaap Stam at the centre of defence. Watch out for Huntelaar as well. We've seen him in action on 5 before in the UEFA Cup. He's the likeliest goal scorer.
I think Ajax are going to have a fitness over this young Arsenal team. I mean, Arsenal have only been back probably in training a couple of weeks maximum, so they'll be building their way back into it. But some of the Ajax team have been away on World Cup duty.
Well, I'm not sure that Dennis even knew that they were going to be here today. Johan Cruyff, Marco van Basten, and the word is they might see their action a little later on. Against you, Nigel.
As long as they keep away from the left-hand side, I shall be very, very happy.
What a proud moment for a proud father and a proud son. Mitchell Bergkamp at 7 years of age. I won't reveal Grandad's age.
I was thinking when you said his family were here supporting him today, and his father's out there on the pitch, because I was asked the same question a couple of years ago, that who was the most important person to help you through your career, and without a doubt I'd have to say it was my mum and dad, for all the support that they gave me in those early years, taking me to all those games, and I think Dennis feels the same way.
Farewell Highbury, thanks for the memories. Hello Emirates, here's to the future. Arsenal's 6th home, by the way, their first new one for 93 years. They've only moved 2 streets, of course, but the club's come a long way since they've paid £20,000 for a 21-year lease on Highbury, an agreement that was signed by none other than the Archbishop of Canterbury. By the way, in those days, Nigel, injured players at Highbury were carried away on milk carts. That didn't happen to you, I hope.
I think it may have done, actually. I just think that this stadium, this first game, we're just going to have to look in the early minutes and just see actually how competitive it's going to be. Obviously, Arsenal have got some young players out there. They'll still have their professional pride out there, and they'll still want to win this first half.
You'll notice one difference between Highbury and the Emirates Stadium, and that is the width of the pitch. And they use that width to Arsenal here now, with progression made down the right-hand side, and the deep ball is rather too strong, hit by Justin Holt.
Yeah, but it was good play by Arsenal in the first instance, and Hoyt was overlapping down the right-hand side. I think it was Song that played him in, but just overhit that cross and just really needed to whip it in low and hard, and just really got underneath it and just floated it over to the far post.
Ball is played by Maduro, one of those World Cup players, across to Heitinga, who was injured in the game against Ivory Coast in Stuttgart and didn't play any further part.
Well, we know that Ajax are going to keep the ball. They're going to be very, very patient, and it looks like Arsenal will just drop off sort of 35 yards from goal, let them have the ball, and then press as they start to bring the ball out.
Well, Ajax have always had a reputation of playing pure football, play from the back, and that's what they're trying to do on this lovely carpet. They started work on this pitch immediately after the closure of Highbury, of course within hours, I understand.
Well, I'm just looking down at the surface now, and you've got to say it's as good as Highbury. I'll certainly let you know after the second half gets started, but it looks in fantastic condition as well. But if they can keep it in the same condition all the way through the season, then they'll be doing well. Because new pitches, you're not quite sure how they're going to react.
I'll be looking for you to add to those 12 goals you scored in your Arsenal career.
Well, I'm not even sure that in this present day I'll be getting up past the halfway line. I've looked at some of the Ajax legends that are playing, and I hope I'll get plenty of protection this afternoon.
Always an attractive side to watch, Arsenal. Maduro, one of the most attractive players that will quite get a foot in. Played back by Vertonghen. Vermeulen. The goalkeeper is Stekelenburg, who was the number 3 for Holland at the World Cup in Marco van Basten's squad. He was hardly likely to get a game while Edwin van der Sar was playing, though, unless van der Sar got injured.
Yeah, I mean, van der Sar is a top quality keeper, and to try and knock him off the number one perch would be a hard job.
That's a lovely ball fired out to the right, and there's a call for the ball across the centre. Huntelaar going for it, and a very good win of the ball by Pascal Sigan.
Yeah, good defending there by Pascal Sigan. You know, hasn't been the Highbury crowd of the olden days faithful, but he stuck to his task and he made an important tackle there early on.
Yes, he's one of those players who's struggled to make an impact since he came from Lille in French football, Sigan. But he's obviously got ability.
He's got another chance here this afternoon. I know it's only a testimonial, but it's another chance to show Arsene Wenger that he's still worthy of a place in this Arsenal squad.
I'm sure every player on that field wants the honour of scoring the first ever goal in the Emirates Stadium, and wouldn't it be ironic if it was Ajax who got that first goal? The ball is picked up here, and it's driven cross goal by Kenneth Perez.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weak shot really. Took it on his right foot, but as he controlled it, he almost took it away from the goal and just tried to sort of curl it back towards the far post, but no power or direction on it, and Almunia just watched it go tamely wide.
It's a lovely mix of red and white and orange, as you would expect. Arsenal have got so many good young players. When you look at the full list in the squad, probably 40 or 50 players, and they've certainly probably 30 who could play first team football. And it's a big day for the likes of Matthew Connolly, just 18 years of age, and 16-year-old Armand Traoré. For them to play first team football here on a day like this.
Well, yeah, really the first competitive game at this new stadium, and what an honour it is. And we talk about testimonials, but that was a fantastic tackle. There was no pulling out there, and it was a lovely sliding tackle, well timed, and just sort of letting the Ajax player know it may be a testimonial, but we've got pride at stake here.
That was Traoré's tackle. That's a good start for him. Tackle on Demul, Heng Hai, Maduro. He's one of those stylish-looking players.
I was talking to Steve Bold before the game. He's saying Traoré, I think he's 16 years of age, but they were saying as an athlete he's absolutely tremendous. There was over 40 yards. He's literally 100th of a second slower than Thierry Henry. So as a fullback, that gives you a fantastic start.
You're about the same pace as Thierry Henry, weren't you, Nigel?
Well, I'd like to have been half as quick as Thierry Henry. I just think as a fullback, when you've got that much pace, you can go tight to a winger with the knowledge that knowing even if the ball's played over the top, nobody's going to outpace you, and it's a great advantage to have.
Rolled in by Hoyt to Bergkamp. First touch of the ball for Dennis Bergkamp. He has been training this week. His professional pride demanded of him, but he put on a show today, of course, as you would expect.
Well, Dennis Bergkamp is all about touch, vision, and spectacular goals, and you know, he'll want to be involved in this game as much as possible. He'll want to show the Arsenal faithful that you know, what he's done over the last 11 years they're now going to miss.
Well, it would be a fairy story if Bergkamp were to score the first goal here, but the chance is here for Huntelaar now. And he is strong. He's a robust type of striker. He's in there too, but the clearance is affected by Connolly. And then Hoyt. Into midfield where it's picked up by the Frenchman Flamini. Ajax have settled very nicely. I've known about this match for a long time. People have been talking about this game for months. Chance might be here for Perez if he gets it on the right foot, and he doesn't get the honour.
Yeah, again, Perez cut in from this left-hand side, took a touch inside onto his right foot, but really just stuffed his shot along the ground. But what Ajax do is they move the ball from front to back and side to side so well, keeping the ball on the ground, 1 and 2 touch, quick passing, and when you're not completely match fit, it's hard to get near them.
Rolled in field by Connolly, tall lad. Now Sigan. We've seen Bergkamp pull wide to such good effect, but this time he's in the centre, hoping for a pass to get involved again. Comes wide to Hoyt. He had that loan spell at Sunderland where he made quite an impact. Mick McCarthy was very pleased with him, the new manager of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Ajax with the opportunity to break here. Fortunate that Son got a touch on the ball for Arsenal. Feeling their way into their new home. Huntelaar, and he'll have a go from here, and it's tipped aside by Almunia. Good try though from Huntelaar.
Yeah, 25 yards from goal, took a touch, fired it to Almunia's left-hand side, and I think Almunia's actually misjudged this because the ball's got, to be fair to him, he's made a good save because in the end the ball moves around right at the end and he's just managed to parry it away for a corner.
Well, any of us who were in Germany marvelled at the wonderful stadiums there, and this one is certainly on a, well, better than many of them. And you can imagine European finals coming to this Emirates Stadium in the future as Huntelaar's header whistles past.
6 yards from goal, corner whipped in, got in front of his man, just really had to direct it. I mean, just has to direct it at the target, and he scores, but he's completely got the header wrong and has headed it wide. Little warning there for Arsenal from corners and free kicks that they need to mark tight and not let the man get a run on them.
I'm sure Marco van Basten will be watching Huntelaar with interest. He was quite close to World Cup selection. Perez.
Ajax are just keeping the ball well at the moment and making Arsenal chase it around, and up front Arsenal are just dropping off 35 yards from goal, trying to just plug the midfield area and then press as Ajax try to pele into the midfield area, but Ajax are so comfortable on the ball. They're not scared to receive the ball under pressure with a man on them,
as Jaap Stam does now. Recently recruited, of course, from AC Milan. That surely will be out. Perez was always standing over the white line, but it's not good as a throw-in. Well, there they are, the good family Bergkamp win in the foreground, and wife Henrietta there. There's a lovely story from Dennis Bergkamp in today's special brochure programme about when he arrived here in London, and he went to get some petrol before his first training session and met Ian Wright at the same petrol station. And there he is, Wrighty. He'd never met him before, they just happened to bump into one another. It was a petrol station on their way to training. What a partnership they became.
Well, it's a fantastic partnership. Ian Wright's such a great goal scorer. Dennis Bergkamp set up many of those goals for him, but I think we'll see Wrighty do some stretches there, because he's just saw before the start of this game the Ajax legends actually warming out, and our lads were sitting in the room downstairs having a chit chat, and all the Ajax legends are out warming up, so I think it shows you how serious it could be in the second half.
Wrighty will be absolutely bursting to get onto this field and score a goal. So you can say he scored at both Highbury and at the Emirates Stadium.
Ian Wright is all about goals, and he won't be happy if he doesn't score here this afternoon.
Perez won't score here, offside on the end of Stam's pass. Yeah, stretch the old hamstrings, and Emmanuel Petit, we've been hearing from Manu. Nice to see him back in Arsenal colours again.
Oh, that'll work.
Just thinking back to when Dennis first came to Arsenal Football Club, and it was mainly an all-English team, and he was one of the first foreign players to put on an Arsenal shirt, and you look down there now, and a lot of the players are actually foreign players, and probably outnumber the English players out on the pitch.
Well, we're taking him out in numbers here, look. That was the initial challenge from De Mul, and then the second one from Heitinga. And David Singh, we saw one ponytail in Petit's gone, the Seaman ponytail's gone.
Yeah, I think he had that chopped off for charity a few months ago, and certainly looks better for it, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Glad you said that first. As a Yorkshireman, a fellow Yorkshireman, goodness me. Stam to Madura. Stam always looks such a formidable figure. Well, is that haircut or what, I don't know, but he looks a man-mountain whenever he puts a football strip on.
He's a giant, isn't he, of a player. He's such a 6 foot plus, quite well built as well, wide width, but he's got good ability on the ball, and he's quick for a big man.
And I imagine he's a good talker in the game as well. Not a bad ball. It was aimed to get Bergkamp through the centre. It will be picked up by Song, originally from Cameroon. Frank Rijkaard amongst the spectators today, but of course, only a couple of months ago that he was masterminding Barcelona's victory over Arsenal in the Champions League final in Paris. A Bergkamp free kick here. Now, can it be like a Beckham free kick in the World Cup? Not so.
I was just going to say it looked very, very similar.
That's been slightly unkind. I was actually at the game where he scored from a free kick against Ecuador, and he also made one, of course, in the opening match. But I think everyone would say it wasn't his greatest World Cup.
Yeah, I just think with David Beckham, everyone looks at him, even if he's not playing very, very well. They always look at his free kicks and his corners, and they're always very, very precise. And I think in this World Cup they weren't as good, but as you say, did produce a couple of moments of magic to show that the people that come out and criticise him, he can respond to that as well.
Clegg tried to produce a piece of magic there, but Maduro got the ball back to Stekelenburg. And now Huntelaar on the jump with Connolly, who's having a number of stoppages at the moment, and Pascal Segan, the latest to go down.
Yeah, there's one or two, I'm going to call them mistimed tackles at this moment in time. They're quite late. Segan there is caught just below the knee. It was quite high.
Early season tackles.
Early season. If you were in the season, the referee would have his notebook out. That's no doubt about it. But he's obviously applying a little bit of leniency at this moment in time.
There is another legend. You were saying the word is used a little too loosely at times, but Arsene Wenger has become a legend with all these triumphs for Arsenal. And a chance for Arsenal to get this first goal here. And here is the opportunity, which Stekelenburg makes the stop from Alier's left-footed drive.
Ball was cut back from the byline to Ali Alader, took a touch on his left side, hit it. Fortunately, it was straight at the keeper, who made a comfortable save. But good play by Arsenal there.
Maduro for Ajax, through for Verdongen. Hoyt, now Song, who was on the bench at most of the Champions League games last season, along with the likes of Theo Walcott, who's not back in training, by the way, just in case you're wondering. Now it's Alexander Hleb, little ball in for Ali Adier. Couldn't trick his way through. That is met with Heitinga for Ajax. They finished second in the league last season in Holland, behind PSV Eindhoven, who seem to have taken over as the dominant force over there.
Yeah, I think Arsenal have just come back into this game in the last 2 or 3 minutes. They've had a little bit more possession of the ball, and just looking to get in down the sides of Ajax.
Stand with a long one, in for Huntelaar. Segan keeps him at bay. Free kicks are awarded here against the Arsenal man Connolly.
I thought it was a little bit unlucky there. He jumped early, and the Ajax player just got caught underneath him, but the referee deemed it as a foul.
There are a number of good youngsters coming through the ranks at Arsenal. Everybody always talks about the foreign acquisitions. We may see one or two later, but when you've got the likes of Connolly and Smith coming through. Ryan Gary was another one. That's not going to be dangerous. An easy one for Almunia. Hoyt another. There were several, aren't there? There was a young fullback who came into the Arsenal first team last season as well, and played a number of matches. A budding Nigel Winterburn.
Yeah, I just think when you look at it, it's I'm going to call it a multinational game now, and Arsenal got a lot of young players that are trying to force their way into the team. They might not all be English players, but they've all got lots and lots of potential.
Gilbert was the other young player I was thinking of. Played a few games. I thought that final touch might have been off the Arsenal man, but the goal kick is given.
I think when I think it's Kerry Gilbert came into the team last season, he looked very, very impressive, and I believe that he's actually going out on loan to Cardiff this season. I hope my facts are right from what I've been told, and I think that'll be a fantastic acquisition to Cardiff, because I was very, very impressed with him when he played a few games last season.
Well, better to play first team football somewhere than not. It's for the experience. Bergkamp with a touch. Wasn't perfect until Jaap Stam storms forward. This is Hoyt. Just talking about him. Leb. Liadier. Bit of a nondescript ball. When you think of all the clubs that have moved stadiums in recent years, you know, the Middlesbroughs, the Sunderlands, the Bolton Wanderers, Arsenal surely have got to be the biggest club of all to have a new home.
Yeah, I think it was very, very important for Arsenal Football Club to get a new stadium, whether it was at the old Highbury site, but unfortunately that wasn't big enough to develop it up to anywhere near 60,000. So the club had to make a decision, and very, very quickly, because the amount of revenue that they are losing in gate receipts each week financially was putting a burden on, really, to challenge the likes of Manchester United. I say Chelsea, but Chelsea's money has obviously come from Roman Abramovich, but they need to be bringing in that income week in, week out, so that they can attract other big name players and pay their wages.
Picked up by Schneider. And again, a good contribution from Traore. He's a big, tall, strong lad, and he's full of confidence as well on the ball. Now it is Bergkamp. Let's see if he can pierce the Ajax defence here. Leb will keep it in. And he'll take it on. And Leb will really run at them here. He's got so much trickery. And it's a lovely ball back to Bergkamp. It would have been perfect if only the chip had been a fraction lower.
Well, before that ball came to Dennis Bergkamp, I was already looking at the goalkeeper's position, because I knew exactly what he was going to do. As Kleb takes it down the wing and rolls it back across the box to Dennis Bergkamp, you know he's going to try and chip the goalkeeper over the far post. He succeeds in chipping the goalkeeper, but just gets a little bit too much pace on it and drifts it over the crossbar as well.
I think the word exquisite might have appeared in a few papers tomorrow if that had gone in. The exquisite chip.
Well, it would have done if it had nestled in the top corner of that net, but you knew exactly what Dennis was going to do, because he's done it many, many times in his career.
Could be useful for the ball, and Huntelaar! Oh, what a chance. He's had two really good openings, and a corner given, actually. So maybe I'm doing a disservice here. Doubles cross.
I don't think you are, because I think he's missed an absolute sitter there, because if he gets any sort of contact, proper contact, he gets there first, and instead of powering ahead at the goal, he tries to flick it and completely gets it wrong, and it hits the Arsenal centre half and goes off for a corner. It's a bad miss.
Yes, it could have been horror. That could have been Connolly's own goal, the first goal ever here at the Emirates Stadium, which wouldn't have gone down too well. That one could have been as well. Song getting back and nodding it over the top of his own crossbar.
I think Song did very, very well there. The ball was whipped into the near post, and as a defender, you always say, deal with the danger, don't leave it to anybody else. And he got in there and just glided it over the crossbar. The only thing he could do for another corner to Ajax.
Another corner to Ajax, as you say, which Perez will deliver. 5 Ajax players inside that 18-yard area. Well, it's a touch of deja vu here. This one's flicked up by Leb over his own bar.
Well, that's almost 3 in a row that Arsenal players have either headed it wide of the post or over the crossbar. Let's hope that this one's cleared away from the goal.
Ajax looking to score the first goal ever at the Emirates Stadium with another Perez corner. 0-0 midway through the first half. Jaap Stam in the mix. He'll get, well, he looked for a flick. Oh, why not try again? It's getting a bit repetitive, this.
It is indeed. Good defending there by Hoyt, because Stam got in front of him, but he managed to stand his ground, and I think Stam just got the flick on, but Hoyt managed to get his head to it and block it.
Worrying for Arsenal, there's Stam! And Almunia manages to palm it down. Well, that wouldn't have gone down too well. A former Man United player scoring the first goal.
It wouldn't indeed. I don't think there have been too many people clapping, but Dennis just got caught on the ball there.
Well, that's what goes down either. Grigera took it away from Dennis Bergkamp. You're not supposed to do that to a beneficiary. Maduro flashes it in and wide. Ajax are on top at the moment.
You're not supposed to do that in testimonials. I don't think the Ajax have been told really that when Dennis gets the ball, you're supposed to let him weave his magic.
It's a smashing historic day here for one of the most famous football clubs in the world, so I'm sure you've got plenty to say to us with your text messages. The number, as always, 888. So send us your message, texting the word comment along with your name and where you're from. Well, it really would be right if Arsenal scored first here. Definitely goes against the script for Arsenal to get the first goal. Well done, Song. Plenty of impressive running there by Ryan Smith.
Ryan looks very comfortable when he gets the ball. He likes to run at players and take them on. He's got that little step over as well. It's a sign of confidence that he wants to run at these Ajax players and test them out.
Well, he ran at them there, and he for his pains, he felt the full force of the tackle that's left him on the ground, decked. I'm not happy, Ryan Smith, at the moment. And funnily enough, Song's picked up an injury as well, so Gary Lewin is the busiest man around right now, the Arsenal physiotherapist of many, many years.
Song's just got back to his feet, but more worrying for Ryan is that he hasn't actually moved, and that's usually a sign that a player is quite badly injured. It's just as he drifts inside with the ball, just as he plays it off, the Ajax player comes in and catches his non-kicking foot. He's sitting up now. I think he's going to be able to carry on. It's one of those injuries that sometimes you get a knock on it, and 30 seconds, 45 seconds later, you're all right. But I did notice as well that Gary Lewin was checking his knee as well, and it looked like the initial contact was to his ankle.
Yeah, it was Demol's time. He looks to be okay, doesn't he? It was Demol. What a magnificent stadium is. We were talking about the financial aspect of this, and they do reckon here that there'll be extra income of £28 million per annum, simply because of the move up the road.
Yeah, I think the finance for this ground as well is a huge burden for Arsenal. But as you say, the income that it's going to generate is eventually going to allow them to purchase more world-class players. And I think they had to go a long, long way to convince the council that they needed a new stadium as well.
Almunia. Now for Connolly.
I think Dennis may stay on in the second half, and when the legends get on, I'm sure we'll see Dennis Bergkamp of old weaving his magic, because at the moment he's finding it very, very difficult to get into the game and get the ball. And as I said earlier, some of these players have come back from the World Cup and they look very, very fit.
Well, you played in his debut game against Middlesbrough 11 years ago, a 1-1 draw. Let's see what happens with this Ajax attack, however, with Demol trying to weave the ball across. Then it's picked up by Maduro. He's on it again now. Vermeulen. Now Grigera, who was also at the World Cup, but is a member of the Czech Republic squad there. Surprised that they didn't perform better than they did.
Well, they were very, very disappointed. I think I don't know whether to say big things were expected on, but I think a lot more was expected of what they achieved. And I think there were one or two teams that were looking at themselves thinking we were a big, big disappointment in this World Cup, and that's why I was so annoyed that England didn't progress further.
Perez just managing to keep this one in play. It is Perez here. Ajax looking for this opening score with Grigera. Then all linked up by Vertonghen. Maduro. Gleb, the Belarus international. He looks every inch an international as well. He had some outstanding matches in the Champions League.
I thought Gleb had his most impressive performances in the Champions League.
Yes, I did. And there's a chance here. Oh, and it's just deflected into the arms of Stekelenburg. Otherwise, there was a prospect there of a Bergkamp goal. I haven't read the script, you're right. Maduro. From a commentator's point of view, there's only one nightmare in these sort of matches, and that is substitutions, Nigel. And there are 4 Ajax players already warmed up and ready to come on the touchline. And 3 for Arsenal. There are going to be 7 switches all at once, probably. It might take about 35 minutes to tell you about them all.
I was just going to say that could take us up to half-time, and that means I'll have to leave very, very quickly.
Yeah, you'll be on. Nice shirt, as I said, by the way. What are you wearing?
This is the new Arsenal training top they've got on here, and I think that'll be going in my bag home as a little memento as well.
Very nice. Schneider. Oh, the World Cup. That's offside. So that means we can probably have a plethora of substitutions. Surfeit of substitutions, probably.
See, Babel is definitely down there. He's waiting to come on. He's an exciting player for sure.
Ryan Babel, yeah, 19 years of age, the youngest Dutchman to score. He's on the left there. The youngest Dutch international in 60 years to get a goal. Anyway, we're still on with the action here. Ali Adier. Rolls off the tongue, that name, doesn't it? Ali Adier. Bergkamp. Let's see if he can roll a goal. There might be one here. It's just too high. In fact, it's quite a lot too high in the end.
Good interlinking play there from Dennis and Flamini. Flamini just took a touch and whipped his shot in, but unfortunately got underneath it again and high and wide over the crossbar.
Well, we'll try and run you through these substitutions. One is going to see the withdrawal of the man himself, Dennis Bergkamp, but I suspect it's not the last we'll see of him today.
I certainly hope not, because I'm looking forward to at least playing 5 minutes with Dennis Bergkamp. I'll be very disappointed if he doesn't come out in the second half.
I'm sure you would be. Song is certainly coming off as well.
It sounds like I'm picking myself there, because I'm not actually sure I'm in the starting 11 for the legends anyway. So we'll have to see what happens. But it'd be lovely to play with Dennis again.
So Bergkamp and Song are off. So is Smith. Smith's gone off as well. And I can tell you one who has come on is a youngster called Fabrice Muamba. That's another name that rolls off the tongue, isn't it?
You looked at me there to say, can you tell me anything about him? Unfortunately, he's one of the younger players that I don't know a lot about. I was quizzing, as I said to you, Steve Bold, before, talking about some of the youngsters. He gave me a rundown on some of them, but not on this young man.
Came after you left, And Nicholas Bentner, I think you can tell me a bit about him, because he played in the Carling Cup last season.
Yeah, I think they've got high hopes for Bentner. He's tall, strong. You look at him down there now, 6 foot plus. I don't think he's quick, but he's got a good touch and likes to hold the ball up. And it'll be interesting to see how he does, because I think he played against Doncaster in the Carling Cup.
Yeah, the famous one where there was a shot here, which is whistling over the top. Ooh, that was a good try. And poor old Mark Poom there was nearly conceding with his first touch of the ball.
Yeah, it was a well-driven shot, and it just rises as it gets to Poom, but straight down the middle of the goal. He had it covered, but could have been a disaster. Just walked into the goal. I think it must be a goalkeeper's nightmare, and turning around and picking it out the back of the net.
It was a very decent effort by Vertonghen. Yes, I was just going to say that famous match at Doncaster, which Gilberto Silva rescued in around about the 120th minute. Yeah,
well, I've never seen Gilberto Silva get that high up the pitch, and he sprinted like Thierry Henry to get on the end of that cross. It's absolutely amazing.
Gleb, he's not a sprinter, he's a dribbler really, but it's taken away from him by Vertonghen, and away down the left-hand touchline goes the new man, Manu Charian, one of the Ajax substitutes who has found his way onto the field, on in place of Perez. Back to Mark Poom. What a good goalkeeper he's been as well. The Estonian #1, of course, but you know, the likes of Derby County and of Sunderland, very, very capable goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's a very reliable goalkeeper, and must be a very sound goalkeeper as well, because Arsene Wenger wouldn't have him in his squad if he wasn't a decent keeper.
Huntelaar trying to get the return ball, which didn't come his way. Also on now for Ajax, by the way, is Urbi Emanuelson. Although Dennis can have a bit of a breather. I read one lovely little line, I thought, from Arsene Wenger in the programme about Dennis Bergkamp. He says in 20 years he's never ever played a pass that he didn't think about or carry out as he meant to do.
Yeah, I think the great thing about Dennis Bergkamp, and I was going to say all the great players, is that they already know what they're going to do with the ball before it comes to them. There's no control, and then I'll have a think about what I'm going to do with it. As that ball's coming, Dennis Bergkamp knows exactly where he's going to put it and who he's going to put it to, and that's why it makes him one of the great players that have played at Arsenal Football Club.
Yep. There are all the shirts. Ajax and Arsenal. And Dennis Bergkamp has worn them all with good grace. And he's also been a classic example of that funny word vision in football. People talk about players having vision, and Dennis has always had plenty of vision.
He's got lots of vision for sure, but I think what you have to say about Dennis as well is the way that he conducts himself around the training ground, away from the public eye. You never read about Dennis Bergkamp in the papers apart from when he's playing football.
Nigel's going to have to leave us shortly because he's got to go and play. I've never ever had a co-commentator who left me to go and play. Very strange grounds. I tell you what, I'll come as well.
Play in the loose term.
Great tackle, Pascal. Well, they like that. He's just won the hearts of the Arsenal following.
Segan, fantastic tackle there. Sliding tackle, but not only was it a sliding tackle, he just hooked his foot round the ball and kept possession as well. Good play.
Yeah, they're chanting his name here. Pascal Segan took it away from Manchurian. Ooh, that's a dodgy pass to roll out, and it's really putting themselves under pressure here from Stekelenburg's poor clearance. Found its way up to Ryan Babel. Huntelaar, no offside. But it doesn't matter anyway. The ball flicked back to Mark Poom. I know when he played at Derby County, the crowd loved it, didn't they? Poom, they used to chant.
Yeah, I was just thinking back to actually whether he actually came up once and scored a goal, but I'm not sure it was Mark Poom or not. I was just trying to think back and think whether he'd actually scored a goal.
Huntelaar, who's still awaiting this first goal at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 0, Ajax 0. And Aliadia can't control the ball.
When you think of testimonials, what is worrying me at the moment is you usually think of 5-4, 6-3, and at half-time it could be 0-0.
Yeah, it could be 0-0, yeah. No penalty shootouts, though. Lovely ball in, and Huntelaar has the honour. His third time lucky for Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. And Ajax lead here. The first goal at the Emirates Stadium is scored by Ajax. What an irony.
Well, it was a fantastic ball into the box. Whipped in from out on this left-hand side along the 6-yard line. And it just said to me, just put your foot on it and knock it into the net. And Huntelaar is exactly what he's doing. I think he's missed 2 sitters. And this time he just had to, 6 yards out, just had to guide it past Martin Poom. And he's done it successfully.
OK, well, I think we can pop. It's a bit different today, so we have a chance to talk to one or two of the celebrities here, and none bigger than a certain Dennis Bergkamp is with John Barnes.
Well, Dennis, unfortunately, we just saw a goal, not for Arsenal, unfortunately, but nevertheless, it's been a fantastic occasion and a great reception, and the fans have been brilliant.
Yeah, they have been. Like throughout my career, they've been fantastic, and the turnout is fantastic, and it was an honour to play for them, honestly.
And of course, we're going to see more of you in the second half. You probably have to go and get a little bit of a rest now because you'll be playing in the second half.
Yeah, I'm saving myself for the second part now, and with all the other players would be good.
And we saw you and your father actually kicked it off. Now, you know, we know the story of you and your father took you on a holiday to Norfolk, but it really shows how much of an impact he's had on your life.
Yeah, definitely. From the start, from the beginning, he was there, and so every game he was there, all the away games from the beginning. And for me, it's kind of special that he's here as well. Yeah, to celebrate the end.
Thanks very much.
This is a nice family day. One nice touch as well. Dennis Bergkamp made sure there was a T-shirt on every single seat in the ground for the spectators to wear. The Dennis Bergkamp T-shirt souvenir. It'd be nice to have a souvenir Arsenal goal to celebrate, but there won't be one there because the tackle on Traore is good, and Huntelaar will release his man, and there could be a second Ajax goal here. Shock horror maybe, and it's wide, and Poom did his job in coming out there to make sure that Manchurian didn't get number 2 for Ajax. Really would have stunned the locals. But Babel was on his way. He was very unselfish actually. But it's still Arsenal 0 Ajax 1 as we approach half-time here in the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates Stadium, which has cost just £390 million. And they've managed to complete it in 2 years. I wonder why Wembley hasn't been finished in 2 years. It's only 7 years since the idea of a new stadium was first mooted here at Ashburton Grove. Cut out by Segan. Into the welcoming arms of Poom again. From Maduro, and then on to Stam. Nigel Winterburn has left me because he's going to play in the second half, but Leber's taken the ball away. Arsenal would certainly like to get a goal before it's the turn of the legends to come on here. Slightly different second half in that it won't be these players who are performing, it will be the great names of the past, and I'll run through some of them for you. Segan. That's asking a little bit much of Alexander Leb. But he's done well enough, I think, to win the throw-in. Well, the referee's just holding things up because Ajax, would you believe, with 5 minutes to go to half-time, less, just over 3, want to make 3 more substitutions. Lindenberg and Schilder, as you can see, coming on. I won't even try and keep you up to date with all of these movements. Player for player.
Coming off the field, number 9, Sebastian 10, Wesley Schneider, and 20.
Well, this is treated very much as a pre-season preparation. It's just a question of getting players match fit. No doubt we might even see more yet. As Arsenal have the throw, and it's flicked in by Ali Adier, and it's away by Stam. Segan's done okay for Arsenal at the centre-half position today. Now Poom, the second Arsenal goalkeeper used after Almunia. And a little shove in the back there from Stam on the substitute striker Bentner. He all-manned him in the phraseology of the day. which one's Ronald and which one's Frank? That's Frank on the left. Anybody can see that. Ronald is actually 20 minutes older, by the way. The De Boer brothers, but it's Ajax who lead, and it's Ajax who are looking for a second goal here. And Poon surely handled the ball outside his area there. And I think on a normal Saturday, he might not have got away with that, the Estonian goalkeeper. Let's have a look at this. Is he outside? No, he's... well, just. Good job, it's a testimonial match. Mr. Poon might well have been walking to the dressing room. Anything goes. Head in hands time for Thierry Henry. Pat Rice in the background. Pat Rice, by the way, such an Arsenal legend, going all the way back to the 70s, of course, in that famous double-winning side. But this Arsenal side is trailing to Ajax. The most famous Dutch club of all, 29 league titles, 15 cup wins. Whereas Arsenal have won a mere 10 FA Cups and 13 league championships in England. Some lovely touches there from Ajax players as it is weaved out to Manchurian. White staying with him, effecting a good tackle. They still have very high hopes here of Justin Hoyt, England under-21 international. Kept out, of course, by Lauren initially. Oh, a brilliant touch, absolutely superb touch here as Ajax look for a second. Very clever play indeed. Oh, and Poom has to make the save ultimately from Babel after the skill from Schilder, who's only been on the field 2 minutes, but impressively involved. This is the Ryan Babel effort. She's well parried by Poom. And would you believe Arsenal are going to make 5 substitutions? Thank you. I'll tell you that coming on are Lupoli, Stokes, Randall, Joe Cyril, and Van den Berg. 5 on and a quintet off. Well, they can all say they played at the Emirates Stadium on opening night. We're well into time added in this first half here. Often the rhythm of a game is destroyed by substitutions, and that's been the way of it a little bit, understandably so. I'm sure there's going to be some royal entertainment coming up in the second half when we've got the likes of old Arsenal legends. You've been seeing one or two of them sitting down there, and the goalkeeper here, Stekelenburg, has to react very sharply indeed. We are hoping to get a fleeting glimpse of Thierry Henry as well, who, it's a shame for him to come all the way from the United States of America, breaking a family holiday and not get a game. The referee's enjoying himself, Mr. Mariner. He's allowing 2 more minutes of added time here. I think it's for all the substitutions, actually. They've taken so long. Mr. Mariner says that will be half-time So it's going Ajax's way in terms of the players of the modern day, thanks to Huntelaar, who on 37 minutes scored the first ever goal here at the Emirates Stadium. But of course this day is really about a true legend in Dennis Bergkamp, and very shortly we'll be seeing some of those players who've played with him over the years for both Ajax and Arsenal, the De Boer twins, the likes of Danny Blind and Wim Jonk. Ian Wright is going to be coming up as well, Mark Overmars, Ray Parlour, don't go away, and we're going to hear several eulogies about the man himself.
It's a dream, to play with a guy like Dennis, because, as soon as you move, or, he will give you the ball, or he will do anything, to please his teammates. So that's always a pleasure to play with someone like that.
He's been teaching me golf as well. He's took me out a few times with him and showed me how to play golf. So as I said, not just me, but everyone's going to miss him. And of course, the fans will as well.
One of the best strikers Arsenal has ever had, with a wonderful touch and some great goals in the last 10 years.
Favorite moments with Dennis Bergkamp? I think any time I don't see him,